Good morning, Doctor. In this presentation, I will talk about patient data mining using J48 decision tree algorithm. Outline from where overview and the type of data and motivation for healthcare management and data mining health and KDD and steps performed for data mining in weekend and objective for this work and decision tree and execution program. Overview, some important terms in this presentation from where goal and purpose and input, output and what is algorithm which used and what is program which used. Goal, goal is medical classification by machine learning. Purpose of this project it is to warn about diseases using one of the classification techniques. Input any data set for a lot of patients in hospital or any place. Output later in next slide. We used J48 algorithm in this topic. Also, we used weekend work. Motivation for healthcare management. Health and money are among the most important things that we must lost. Therefore, I can see government health spending costs a heck of a lot of money. I think this speaking came back Joe Biden 2010. Healthcare spending 17% of economy. Also, more than 1.2 trillion dollar spent on healthcare each year is a waste of money. These are a sample of the motives that made us heed to exploration. How does data mining help? Uh, Use data mining by set of algorithm to extract knowledge from raw data. Data extraction that depends on data only. This feature is important in healthcare to support formula between y and x. Y represent diseases as a dependent variable, but x that represent a symptom or test result that is set of independent variable. It tells any formula between x and y to get knowledge. KDD. KDD, I can see abstract that refers to the broad process of finding knowledge and data in any classification. In addition to its useful in other fields, your highlight it's important in the field of medical classification as study of drug implication, diseases outbreak. A major application of KDD from this clinical medicine and public health and healthcare text mining and in healthcare policy and planning. A clinical medicine, anything that under blocking as a database and source of complex clinical. Public health, including early outbreak detection. Healthcare text mining, including mining medical literature. In end, healthcare policy and planning. Data mining, data mining technique used in healthcare, and because their relationship are too complex, or because there is too much data to this patterns cannot be discovered by traditional data exploration. Other healthcare data mining parameters include the sequence or path analysis and classification and clustering and forecasting. This shape that represent topical data mining framework, including data generation and quality examination of collect data and the generation of medical roles and role examination and role application. Before we start with the practical side, I must clarify the following: what program will use, and what is the following mechanism, and what algorithm will we use. The step performed for data mining in Wiki. Step 1, the data pre-processing. Step 2, attribute selection. Step 3, classification, data percent decision 3. Step 4, reduction. Step 5, model evaluation. Uh, Step 6, clustering and end association rules. Objective of this work. First, I can see abstract. First, we use J48 in this presentation for classification and reduce error. Running this algorithm uses a grade technique in and use decision tree dot J48. Calculate the result value of new sample using predictive models and based on various attribute value of available data. How do J48 algorithm work? By applying the concept of system entropy. From this formula that represent x and p, x that represent attribute, but p is each element, and j is the position of each element of x. Decision tree. Decision tree, I can see it is system of predicting or dividing a group of data across a row of consecuting options. Each choice of true is called leaf. They pair questions and answers at the same time. As the more you go deeper, the more efficient. What did need to create a decision tree? In end, I can see any decision tree that contains 3 parts: root and the decision node and leaf node. Root that represent name topic, but decision node that represent questions, and leaf node that represent results. This page that include a dataset and name attribute and type attribute. This dataset rewrite in Excel and convert CSV and ARFF to execution in Wiki. This table that description of patient data, string, gender and marital status and living, but age numeric, but history of the disease date. This table that cases execution in Wiki, from where gender and age and marital status and living and history of years and class, such as class 94 yes, but 44 no. Extra execution program classify this result that include summary from this formula. Summary and weighting average and accuracy and confusion matrix that represent A and B. A no, but B yes. B that represent 19 but A 2 only. B 5, 5 yes, and 18 no. This page that represent confusion matrix to get accuracy from this formula TP and pass plus Tn divided TP plus Tn plus FP plus Fn. Um, TP and FP and the Tn and the Fn that represent sick people correctly identified as sick. False positive healthy people incorrectly identified as sick, but three negative healthy people correctly identified as healthy. From this confusion matrix, I can get any formula, such as precision and recall, and 3 negative rate, and F score, extra. Kappa statistic from this formula. But mean absolute error from this also formula. Root mean squared error RMSE from this formula to get result. And RSE root relative squared error also that from this formula to get this. In end status of classification accuracy, I can get TP right and FP right. TP represent of the predicted. The classification result is represented by value that is true and indeed correct and is calculated by confusion matrix. But FP right, the accuracy of the predicted classification result is wrong and indeed wrong and is calculated by confusion matrix. Thanks.